trade. And so is the trade inherently good or bad? No, it's dependent on the person and their context, right? All of these are examples of trade-offs, right? And so the question is, what are the trades and are they worth it? The reason people struggle so much with making trades is because they know what they stand to lose, but not what they stand to gain. So the cost is guaranteed and fixed, but the upside is not, which is why it's so hard for so many people to make bets, especially on themselves. And so if you had a single belief that I could transfer to you, it's that you will figure it out if shit hits the fan. And when shit hits the fan, if it does, and it will, the reality is it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. And so you have this fixed cost that you believe that will happen, but isn't actually real because it's a fear inside of your mind. You think if this bet doesn't work, I will go homeless, lose all my friends, and die. But that's not reality. The worst case scenario for most people who are social, as in like just are functioning members of society, is that you crash on someone's couch for a while. That's the actual worst case scenario. And I only say this because if you look at homelessness, right, the vast majority of homelessness, not all, the vast majority of homelessness is due to addiction and mental health issues. So my point is, most people have this fear. Now, even the people who are, I'll be politically, the unhoused, right? The unhoused, even the unhoused. It's hard to say, it's so funny. Anyways, even those folks still have food, still keep living, still have access to medical attention, okay? At least in the US, in the developed world, okay? And so I say this because the worst case scenario is that you have no boss, you have food, right? You have medical attention if you need it, and you walk on the streets doing whatever the hell you want. That's the worst case scenario. Some people might say that's better than their current scenario. And so when I think about this, I think about this in order to Matt, I'll say that to be honest with you, which is that like your level of subjective well-being doesn't change a dramatic amount throughout your life. A lot of it is inherent. Right, like your demeanor, your disposition. And I'll give you a simple example that makes people uncomfortable. So think about how were dogs created, right? So there were wolves, right? And then there were some wolves that were a little nicer than the other wolves. And they were like, let's breed the nice wolves. And then nicer wolves, breeding nicer wolves, eventually you get a Labradoodle, okay? Taken enough times. And so people don't like to think about humans in that same way. But like fundamentally, if you've got assholes breeding assholes, they tend to make more assholes. And if you've got nice guys and nice gals, they tend to make more nice people. Of course, there's genetic variety that happens there, but over time that does happen. And so that also happens with happy people and unhappy people, believe it or not. And so a lot of that, like, of course, you operate within your genetic